like nowadays, everybody's too comfortable. You know, everybody's getting soft. You know, like once we start finding discomfort, we want to kind of shy away from it. You know, once we feel like, oh man, my team quit on me. You know, what do? We lie on our back and give up, right? Instead of trying to rebuild. But there's a good mindset and there's a bad mindset, and the good mindset is the one that succeeds, right? So I'm trying to help you guys get tougher. So definitely, you know, don't shy away from the pain. Don't shy away from the suck, right? You know, that's what David Goggins says. He says, don't shy away from the suck. You know, embrace it, get tougher, get better, and you know that's ultimately what's going to help you discipline your life. So there's 4 more things that I got from that video that I want to like just highlight. You know, now I'm not telling you guys you need to be Spartans, right? If you guys are, you know, Hello Kitty fluffy dolls, I'll accept you for who you are. You know, but I would encourage you guys, if you want to achieve, you know, partnership status and you want to, you know, get bigger paychecks and make more money, I would encourage you guys to at least adopt a little bit of, you know, the Spartan lifestyle, right? So what else did we get from that? One thing I got was, you know, he talks about there's a rite of passage that every Spartan must go through, and this is how you can, you know, determine the respect level you give a Spartan. And the way I see it is we're all on that rite of passage. You know, like obviously there's people in this company that, you know, are getting paid, you know, a ridiculous amount. You know, like our checks are coming above $2,000 a week every single week. Like I haven't seen a check under $2,000 in a while, right? So I'm just putting it in perspective. But the reason why, you know, partners are where we're at is because we endured a rite of passage. And you guys, leaders and team leaders, you guys are on your rite of passage, right? You guys are going through the trials and tribulations that it takes to become, you know, partnership status. So what do I mean by that? I mean, one, obviously you got to build your team, you know, and not only do you got to build it, you got to retain it and you got to rebuild it, right? This is a team leader partner call. So I'm talking to you guys like, you know, how it is. This is your rite of passage. You guys are going to go through things that, you know, are going to make you want to feel sad. You know, you're going to feel like, you know, sometimes you're going to want to quit. The real thing that I want you guys to take away from it is that it's a rite of passage, right? Like you guys are freaking Spartans. You guys chose to, you know, take on this challenge of, you know, commission only. And it has its rewards. It has its benefits. You know what I mean? But this is your rite of passage. Are you going to be that kind of Spartan that during his rite of passage, he's going to be like, I don't know, I'm kind of on my Hello Kitty, I'm going to get out of here. Are you going to be that guy who, like, you know, once things start getting tough, you know, you try to hop onto the next Hello Kitty, you know, bus ride? Or are you the one that's going to survive to the very end and eventually you're going to succeed? If you're like the second one, I love that guy. You know, are motivating to be around. Their vision is like there. You know, they're very clear. The rite of passage, whether you're whether you're acknowledging it or not, you're on it. You know, and this is it. Building your team, retaining a team, and rebuilding. You know, that's the rite of passage. Eventually, you're gonna get to a spot where, you know, you don't have to rebuild anymore. You know, you're at that level where you're able to maintain a team, and, you know, guess what? You know, welcome to the big boys club. You know, so we're all on it. First step to success, you know, you got to identify what road you're on. But, you know, if we're on a freeway, let's you know, acknowledge where we're at. Let's put all the gas to the brake and all the gas to the floor, man. So let's keep going. So one, we are on a rite of passage, right? Even myself, right? You guys can look at me and like, I want your money, right? I'm still on the rite of passage. If my team falls off tomorrow, guess what? I got to rebuild. You know, like, what am I going to do? Cry about it? No. You know, sometimes, you know, you might shed a tear or two for somebody that leaves, but, you know, the show goes on, baby. So the rite of passage is the road to team building. That's what my metaphor for you guys today, okay? So think of it like that. What else? In that video, he talked about, you know, leaders. A good leader will never lead from the back. If you have a team and you want them to respect you, you got to be in the front, bro. You know, you got to be in the field. You got to be, you know, working with the different team members and stuff like that. And what do I mean by that? Like, what's something practical we can take away from this? Well, for me, something practical is like, let's say you have a team and now you have generations, right? It's a good idea from a team leader perspective, from a partner perspective, to go and work with your grandchildren, right? Like if you have first generation kids and they have kids, it's a great idea to go work with your grandchildren. Dude, there's so many different reasons why we could, you know, encourage everybody to like work with their team. Definitely, for sure. And another thing, you know, if we're on the quest to partnership, their numbers count towards your goal. You know, so I mean, with that simple fact alone, if you want to hit partnership, it's a great idea to get them competent, get them really good, and get them producing, right? Because if they produce, guess what? It counts towards your numbers, you know? Somebody said building layers. Absolutely. You know, the name of the game when it comes to team building is, you know, building relationship, building that layers and layers of you know, friendship, love, you know, ultimately. But, you know, how you do it is definitely hanging out with them, working with them. Great idea. One other big key reason why, and this is like, you kind of like got to really think about this one. But the reason why is because, let's say, you know, you work with your grandchild or sometimes great grandchild, right? It helps out the team leader who, you know, is directly responsible for that person, right? So like, let's say Jay Dollar Sign, right? Let's give him an example. Let's say Jay Dollar Sign, he has a day of observation today, right? So he's obviously got his hands tied. You know, if I work with, let's say Danny Viramontes, right? This is like his grandson. That will allow him, you know, to really focus on his day of observation, but all at the same time, make sure that, you know, Danny that day is getting the proper supervision and proper guidance to like not only make a sale, but also like, you know, maintain his positivity in the field and all that stuff. And ultimately, if Danny is happy, I know I'm helping out Jay Dollar Sign be happy. But I know that the Spartan mindset is the one that pays the bills, is the one that outperforms everybody, is the one that builds a team full of killers, right? So I'm just putting stuff in your pocket, okay? So there's that. What else we got here for you guys? So there's another thing that he said that I think you guys should subscribe to. This is something that I feel like you guys gotta. He said, pretty much in layman's terms, he said, don't stop till you're done. Whatever you're doing, whatever engagement you're doing, whatever activity it is, don't stop till you're done. I feel like that's so powerful because, like, let me give you an example of why it's so powerful. Every year on December 31st, you know, everybody has parties. It's New Year's Eve, right? Everybody's getting drunk. Everybody's, you know, popping bottles of champagne. Everybody's toasting. You know, people start thinking about the next year, right? And what happens? People start coming up with goals. They start coming up with ideas of like things they want to improve in their life, right? And they set what's called a New Year's resolution, right? How many, right? Raise your hands. How many of you guys have heard of that? Yeah, a lot of people, right? New Year's resolutions. And what happens inevitably? They start working towards their goals, and, you know, maybe a month passes, maybe 2 months pass, and then they stop. You know, they give up on their goals. And what happens is inevitably they land in the same spot they started in, right? So there's like really, I mean, you're just wasting time at that point. You know, like, what are you doing? So the Spartan dude, let's call him Leonidas, right? He was like the leader of all the Spartans. If you want to talk about a badass Spartan, we'll say the name Leonidas, right? Because he's a badass. Well, let's say Leonidas, he's the one talking to you right now. He said, dude, if you set something as a goal, see it through to fruition. Don't give up till it's freaking finished.